This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. Let's do a little live market recap for Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. Freedom, America, get out and vote. That kind of day. In a celebrative mood, if you've been following the channel at all and you're playing the names that we recommended and you're doing well, as recommended, take profits. It's a day of pulling money out of your account, paying your rent, paying your mortgage, paying your bills, taking out your significant other on a nice date, going on the kids, booking a trip. Pay yourself. That we run this like a business kind of day, and one of them is payday. I'm celebrating myself personally on my own terms, even though my wife's out of town. But I want to talk to you guys and just let's dig deep into this. We got some things that we should all be thankful for, but also be on red alert for. As many of you guys know, the market does what? It always adapts. Your brain has to be open. You have to be willing to adapt. So I'm going to start the timer now. Can I get a mic check? Make sure I'm not talking to myself. I hope I'm not talking to myself. It could be happening. Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the last. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Anybody there? Nice. Cool. I appreciate you guys popping in. I'm going to hit the play button, or you got 6 minutes to pick my brain before I go through the full recap and record it. What y'all got? Freaking meta. How about AA close? Can't complain about that. That is looking good. Can't complain about gold. But again, as soon as we get comfortable, this is why I tell them, manage your positions. Because we're probably going to see volatility coming up. So, look at gold. Took profits today once we got in the blue zone. Now again, not completely. Just took a decent amount. Thankful for it. Took it. CF, if you traded this. You bought the 50-day yesterday. It's a nice. I'll take it. I'll take 6-7 points. Easy. NTR, if you bought this at 70. You're liking that. Oil, if you took profits yesterday. Again, I don't think people realize how good we are at anticipating moves. We're not always perfect. Talked about 93 on the dollars. On the dollar and the WTI. Pulling back. Nat gas, if you've been trading it like we talked about, Nat gas is a wild freak in the sack. Can I say that? I don't know. But look at that. Pops up, boom, pulls back. If you bought some today below 20, high five. I did. You should if you were following. Easy stop. Now, not all in. A feeler bet. Because remember, we're not surprised by multi-day ranges. But that's a good start. It's a good start. And if it rips higher without a retest, not bad either. We won't complain. Remember, it's not easy. So, hold on, one question. Yeah. Again, I'm ready to celebrate and party and talk about stuff. Because, again, the hard stuff, we've anticipated, it's been great. We gotta now dig into what's coming and the things that we anticipate, let happen, and then act. Random thought. Anyone else find it comical how the oil inventories are swing wildly week to week? 6 million draw. Suspect data. Again, I think a lot of it has to do with this is a good question. The SPR releases that they're trying to manipulate in front of the election, and it's here. That's why I'm not surprised oil pulled back today, because if there's some games, we'll talk about all that stuff. Man, what a good day! What an excellent day! I love paying myself. It's the best job in the world when it's working. You get good at it. It becomes a nice source of income. I know some people are doing really well. Some people who are struggling. But again, I'm telling you, you got to push through. You got to be better. From the chop leads the trend. Remember? Chop before the pop. Same thing within your account balance, your mindset, your growth within trading. If you're chopping, that's better than losing. Trust me, there's a lot of people getting absolutely destroyed in trading right now. Did you guys see the brokerage accounts numbers they're talking about? For like the first time in like a decade, the number of brokerage accounts have closed. Usually it's always like adding 100,000 or 50 or 10 even. Now people are stopping trading. They're losing their butt. It's a good sign. It's how you get closer to the end, not the beginning of the down move. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, it's really nothing to talk about. 2.5 minutes. I mean, tell stories, be thoughtful. Again, put your ego in check. As soon as it starts thinking easy, you got to be on red alert. That's what I'm doing. I'm celebrating because I took money out, not allowing myself to get greedy and not be on red alert. Every time you do something right in the market, celebrate it. I'm telling you, when you do things wrong, don't punish yourself, but make sure you learn. Because then you reward. Every time you start paying yourself and you start running like this, like a business, versus just trying to grow the biggest account in the world that you could eventually lose back, you start thinking about trading differently, right? Like profit taking becomes pretty important. A lot of things. Looking really high Friday. Max payments probably directional versus absolutely high. Hey, Jordan, I've been talking about the put call ratios too. I'm interested in. I think that's why I don't think the market peaks. Whatever the high ultimately ends up being, maybe it's a chop high or whatever the high is, not going to happen until later this week or even next week. Have you seen the options action for next week? It's pretty bearish as well. Good point to bring out. Good point. BTC, Disney destroyed. Disney destroyed. Did I miss some? Oh, yeah, they had earnings. Oh, gosh. Who is okay with Disney getting destroyed? I am. Oh, just back at the lows, it looks like. Me personally, whatever that song that, that's It's a Wonderful Life or World or whatever that song, like that thing is ingrained in my brain, and anytime I hear it, I'm like, want to punch somebody. Was that stupid Kid ride? Check that out. Yeah, back at 92. Not really end of the world-ish. Not good, though. BTC, Bitcoin, I struggle with it. Y'all know that. I can't trade everything well, so I've left that stuff alone. I try to give insights, but I've been out of the market for 3 weeks with big move and a hospitalization, so I'm stoked to hear what you have. Oh, well, welcome back, Chris. We took a lot of profits today, so if you're looking to build positions today, now probably not the time. Might be the short. The next move is ideally shorting, actually. little cotton mouth there. I think that's what that's called. All right, let the bell ring. Let's do this. I'm going to start recording. If you have questions, please save them to the end or keep them pertinent. Quit your bitching. All right, I think I forgot a few names yesterday. Somebody's like, oh, CCJ. Let me get things in position. Got to do my opening rant. Let's do this. This is Dan Max, CDXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, Election Day, November 8th, 2022. Hopefully you're doing well. A good day to harvest gains. A good day to be thoughtful of what's to come. Volatility's a little lower than we expect. Talked about profit taking. If you had winners, perfect. You held some. You traded around it. You're managing your positions. I don't know what else to say other than you should be celebrating. If you felt today that things were a little too easy and you've done really well, you need to take some profits because the market might get a little confusing near term. Still anticipate a top potentially during OPEX next week, but let's just see. I mean, I saw the SPY drop $3 out of nowhere. I would love to see some opportunity come abound because of the action and the volatility. Would you not agree that sometimes it's best to take some easy money off, anticipate some volatility? If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, say all the stupid stuff other people say. But it's true, if you want to be on these chats live, you want to use the Back to Basics room for education, you want to learn, it's all free, it's all there. Again, if I start charging, maybe people would actually do more of it. But man, look at all the plays we put out today. If my point being is I got distracted, it's free. Take advantage of it. Eat it up. Soak it up. Please. It's there. Follow me on Twitter. That's always where I'm posting some of the Discord stuff. Again, all this stuff goes directly to Twitter from my software with eSignal. And yeah, please like, share. Again, when the student's ready, a teacher appears. We're not here to teach the masses. Only the people that are ready to work hard and willing to. On that note, we know the election, red wave potential. I'm not even looking at anything because I don't even care. I took off so much profit, took so much out of the market that I really don't care what happens tomorrow. I'll check it out in the morning. Hopefully you're having that kind of night as well and you're not like all in thing, but here's the Twitter page. Be careful. We don't know. We'll talk about it as we get through it and let the evidence present itself. Again, we don't do this with projections. We try to be every day, study the evidence. So I'm saying, come join me every day, telling you it's worth it. You'll pick something out. If not, you will. Interesting. If you're not picking anything out of this, then it's not you. Clearly, it's the market, which, again, we don't ever want to blame the market. Always own everything. Bitcoin. Look below and fail potential here. I don't know what the heck is going on in crypto. I know the Fed sees some. I actually joked that if the Fed sees $3.6 billion in Bitcoin, are they not going to unload it at some point? Was that them today? That would be ironic if we find out later, because, again, sometimes you don't know why until later. Talk about that. Wow, if you got popped out, you got popped out. You want to buy back in? Cool. You want to short it? It's very clear there's an important area. We not agree? This area right here, this 17s. If it holds, you got to be bullish. Fails, now you're so close. You know, we don't talk about chasing, but there are position times where you have consolidation patterns that you can go with. And it makes sense, right? Like, if it can't go higher and everyone's trapped, it's going to go lower. You can play that continuation, but be careful. Bear traps happen. Be smart. It's a hard trade. Hence why I would recommend people steer away from crypto at this point. We say this all the time. If things are easy, just stay with easy. Think like Livermore. And if things are hard, you really want to go fishing over there. I don't know. Maybe a lot of maybes. Oil. High five. Literally high five. Look at that. Talked about. Here comes 93s. Take your profits yesterday. Did you buy anything today, Dan? Nope, not any oil space. Bought nat gas. We'll talk about that here in a second. Because, again, I don't think oil or nat gas is as politically charged as oil. We all agree? Yes. Okay, thank you. Moving right along. I would watch the 87, 88. We're in the 88 range. Tomorrow, if oil drops, have on your radar potentially to buy. That's all I'm going to say. That is all I'm going to say. Because if you're not paying attention to it, I think we've talked about this. The ultimate move is what? Feds are having to raise rates because oil and all these things keep running higher. Puts them in the pickle. That's how you get the next crash. Nat gas, look at that. We talked about, like, hey, if you hit these areas and you back off, it'd be a gift. Well, you got your gift. If you started a starter position in UNG, I put 2 layers on today. Love it. Here's your stop around 6. Don't go all in. Remember, we don't talk, again, because the first test is not always the best. Like, you can get this action of multi-day ranges or extremes, so you don't know. Like, if this was your first test and it went, well, hopefully you didn't have a full position and got smoked. Does that make sense? That's why you layer in, you layer out. At this point, simple. 6s. Got to hold 6s. I know it's a wide range, but again, if a lot of y'all are trading UNG like I am, it's because you want to trade the things that are open during your hours. I mean, I tell you that all the time. You're like, why do you? I'm like, because if not, I would be watching gas. I'd be nat gas trading all night, man. Y'all not think that? If you start trading futures, the addiction of winning, boy, you just want to all night spin the wheel at a casino, keep printing money, and then eventually, what? You lose. But that's the reality because day trading. But you see the allure. Dollar said, watch, man. There's going to be a lot of I said, and again, we were right. I don't mean to be mean, but if someone pops in and just hears that part, it's true. We got to get confirmation. We've seen it. We've been seeing the evidence. The dollar said, be aware that this doji is not necessarily a confirmation. How many times we talk about when the market starts to expect something different? Everybody thought this flag was going to resolve higher. What did it do? The opposite. Now what? We're back down here near the range lows. This is why we do our homework, why we think the market could continue rising. The 100-day for the dollar bill, has been important. Very clear earlier in the trend. Got it? All right, check out the monthly, y'all. Again, this is why we do this every day. If you're not digging deep, I don't know what the hell you're doing. What are the old highs on the monthly? Wow, look at that. 2007. 2000. Do we not think it's probably going to test, You always talk about like the breakout, the knee bend. Here you go. Here's your dollar knee bend. If you believe the market's going to tank in December in the fourth quarter, then here's your knee bend to start the next cycle of stupidity in the dollar up. Near term, tractor beaming to 29. Maybe tomorrow, probably not. Next week, maybe some of this economic data. What happens if the CPI comes in less than expected? A lot of combinations of things that potentially could happen. Got to be careful. Trying to make this entertaining, at least. The TLT said leave it alone. Friend Roth today was like, it's even up today. Interesting. I'm like, that is interesting because even though oil and gas did drop, there was a lot of rise in commodity stuff in general. Gold. I say in this a lot, and here, let's go back to the monthly and start why I think at some point there is a big pop. Remember we talked about, I hope you guys love this stuff. Like, again, you got to get psyched about the charts because if not, trading's not fun. It's like we're figuring out again. We're playing a game of whatever, Catan, whatever game is your favorite. We got to figure this out. We got to anticipate probabilities and win. Smoky treats. The TLT chopped before a monster spike in November of 2028. 2028. No, 2008, you idiot. Is this possible? Where would it start? Well, then it's probably going to have to find it on the daily. I think you might have the starting point. But November, it's only what, the 8th? There's a lot of days left. I would watch how bonds act at the lows. When everyone saw, we talked about it popping up the 20-day, you got to the 20-day. Now, I'm telling you, be very vigilant and watch this. Because this is why I keep telling people, if you're looking at real estate, you better be get pre-approved. Because if you see that spike down to 5% and TLT rips, buy a house that day. Literally. Buy that day. Buy that day. I will be getting pre-approved next week, ideally. There we go. TLT. VIX. Sorry, I'm like, if you know me, you know me, that I'm usually on point here, but I'm a little tired. Been a long day, right? Celebrating. What did we say? The volatility probably is compressing before the election. Expect the volatility event. Said this, put this in the Discord room. How high? I don't know. How high? I don't know, Tally. You tell me. Maybe 28s? Maybe the 20-day again. How fun would that be? Or, I mean, let's open this. Let's open this one up a little bit and move it. Yeah, maybe it gets just to 27. I mean, not a lot of upside. Again, if they're going to beat the crap out of all these puts, I don't see much upside. Now, how far does that mean in the SPY? Let's go to the SPY. I mean, 20-day, 370s. I mean, it's trending, higher highs, higher lows. Could we hold this, 375? I mean, taking notes as we always do. 375. I would watch that area if we test that tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. I don't know. Be on red alert. 20-day is now your friend. But if the 20-day and this gap, this top, this area all line up, it might be bought. Remember, the first dip is bought. First dip is bought. Keep that in mind. I'm telling you, I feel like the CPI is going to miss. People are going to go bonkers. We'll see. QQQ. Sorry, I didn't really complete 390s. And if it gets really going, 4 hundos. You probably fill this gap. Sorry, I missed the last important thing. Also, love when the fibs line up. Love when the fibs line up with swing points. It's not random. Tell you guys all the time. The algorithms run the market. Sometimes they can't hide their tracks. Love it. Remember when everyone was like shorting the Qs? We're like, stay away from them. Some names will stay crappy, some won't. Look at that. It's rallied. Got to get over the 20-day. I don't think you can get past 280s, mid 280s. There's such weakness. Like Apple, Tesla, one of these big ones would have to do something grand. I just don't see it. And if they don't, then it'll just drift up. Because you got the SMH. You got some other stuff doing okay. IWM, little concerning. Just pay attention to this. Now, everything, we got to be what? Unbiased here, right? A little concerning. At this point, it probably feels like remember we talked about, the IWM leads. Could it be a double top? right? Could it be some sort of double top formation? That's because that would make sense if the IWM peaks first, and then the markets follow, right? Like, here you go. So I don't know if I anticipate a ton. I still got some of this left. Not a ton of it. Because I started moving into other commodity names. Not bad. Not great. Concerning. Again, we're taking the temperature of the market. Concerning. Write that one down. IWM, slightly concerning. Gold! Love gold! I love selling gold some days. Took a lot of profit in the gold names today. Not all of it. I've got some December stuff I'm letting cook. 100-day, maybe tomorrow. Again, how much? Maybe range highs. Talked about it. If the dollar goes to 29, would not be surprised. I mean, you zoom out a little bit. Probably 3 or 4 more points up. Will we agree? I mean, I can't remember the gold spot price as, but it's probably like 1750 or something. I had to remember just off the top of my head. That would, I don't know, 1725. I don't know. Either way, awesome trade. This is the kind of stuff you pay yourself on. You go from 150 up to 160 approximately, right? You gotta pat yourself on the back, take some money. We don't trust gold. The feds aren't done. Feds aren't done. Maybe they might act like they are, but here's the thing. If this is, people go all the time, what if this is the real bottom, Dan? Great, even better. Because it'll make a higher low that will just totally smash. I still don't believe this is the final bottom because the VIX is not spiked high enough to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But damn. December not the best. I mean, we talked about it. It's a trade. It's still a trade. No, that's a good point. We talked about mid-December is usually your bottoming. Okay, well, sometimes you pop in November and you retest in December or you play some higher low. I'm not that concerned if by selling gold here and taking profits, again, got some left over, like looking to exit, I have no fear that I won't find a higher low or some sort of gap tax loss selling kind of end of year gain. You'll see it. I guarantee. And if it's not, and the bull market started, even better. I'm telling you guys, if it actually has started, then we don't have to be so freaking cautious about the end. Okay? Trust me. Like sometimes being a little late, usually I'm usually early, bad, but sometimes being a little late for the start of a monster trend, oof, it's better than getting stuck with the chop. Remember, the chop sucks. Silver sucks. Playing the chop game sucks. It's been purgatory. The only time that silver's ever done well in the last 20 years was what? 2009, 2010, 2011, feds were cutting. 2020, COVID feds were cutting. Are we at the Fed cut moment? No. But I like choppy bottoms coming into them later. Hence why being patient with gold in some of these names. Because after the third touch, you usually don't get 4s. Well, look at that. You got a 4. Maybe there's a 5. Remember, the market likes odd numbers. So there will be a 5. It seems likely, but when? I don't know. Probably December, like Derek's saying. GDXJ. I said this yesterday. I mean, I'm not mad at people who chased it, but I was like, at least chase it near the low of the day. Some people bought it at like 31.50, and I'm like, no. You never chase. And again, so here's the problem. If you chased this yesterday and you got rewarded, just remember, you got lucky. I'm going to say this again. You got lucky. Chasing is destructive action for trading. I'm telling you, especially swing, bigger move. Chasing is dangerous in a trader's market. Keep that in mind. At this point, it seems very likely you're going to get to 35, 36. Does this make sense? You get to that level, slap yourself to wake yourself up, take some profits. GDX, even this piece of junk, look at the volumes. Good God. People like this stuff. I'm telling you, this is the start of a commodity bull market, but we are in the birthing cycle of this crap. One more. Come on. Get it up here, back it off. 27s. AG, congrats. If you nailed this one, I personally have not traded, but I said you're probably getting into the blue zone. once you held a 50-day. That's not a bad move. Not a bad move. AEM, I still don't like that they're doing this deal for Yamana Gold. Meh. No, I think that company sucks. Them and PAAS. It's lagging. It's not leading. But this is a nice pop. But here, look at the wick. There's going to be I don't know when they close on this deal, but it changes everything. I'm telling you. Those bad deals, bad results. Newmont did no deal. Holding up off this crappy low. I've said this a million times. Leave this one alone. PAAS. You buy the GDX. If you want Newmont, buy GDX. You get probably better percentage moves. Or the whatever Nugget. Look at this PAAS. It's not acting well, but there is big volume. We'll see. I mean, this could think about the market makers too. If they know there's more volume to sweep at the low on this bottom, it could chop out, wipe out, pop right back. That's what I would do if I was the market maker. But again, I'm not the market maker, but that's my goal, is to try to figure it out. We swim in the whale's wake. There's no bias here other than to making money. And to make money, you got to do what the house does. They trade around their positions. You don't realize that either. It's how they manipulate volume and action intraday. Trading their freaking positions. You ever think about that? AG, we talked about channel, the AMD. Bleh. AMD. Channel lows, probably going to bounce. Laggard. But hey, if you traded it and you made 5-10 points, man, good work. Going forward, we talked about SMH coming into 200 range. I don't know how much higher it could go. I know some people actually started shorting today. I mean, I started shorting NDAQ today. I get it. You're AMD. I mean, like this action. Sorry, start over. NVIDIA. I'm not surprised. Gapped up, getting out of the range. Maybe it's a trap. Watch the 100-day. I don't know. I mean, this stuff is hard for me personally to short with confidence until I think next week. Just keep that in mind. Every name will trade a little differently. SMH, we're talking about like that 200 range. If you want to jump in it, I see what you're thinking. We've talked about this. I just don't know if they're going to try to snap the market up to 400. Because if you get to 400 on the SPY, this is going to get to the 208, maybe even 215 range. Just keep that in mind. Could PAAS have another run than other miners? Oh, what do you mean? Cheap calls on Disney. I don't know if there'll be any cheap calls on Disney, especially after earnings. The IV will be jacked. Adobe. I mean, it's pretty. This is what's. Remember, the third time's usually the bounce. We talk again. If you're paying attention, taking notes, I try to talk to you guys. I do this on my own, obviously, but I try to make sure you guys are understanding it. The third time, number threes. And I count that as 1, 2, 3. Okay, upside. To trust Adobe's going any higher, it needs to get over 327. Clear as day. Apple, man, you know how sometimes you feel like you've dodged a bullet? I feel like I dodged a bullet because I honestly really thought about buying Apple this day, and I dodged the bullet. And look what happens. Comes back to the lows, dodged the bullet. At this point, your guess is as good as mine. I just don't care. PAAS still on the low. AG about to take profit. I don't know. I mean, again, the miners are in this weird position. Like, they're getting closer to the highs than the lows near term. Just keep that in mind. Amazon. Man. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Upside, maybe 100. Tough. Tough. Tough trades. I don't know. I don't like this action because tax loss selling and being closer to the lows means you have people who are overhead just begging to unload into you. While certain commodity names look like they have nobody begging to be unloaded onto. They have people still buying. Those are the trades I want to be in. Oh, CRM, don't know. 50, 20-day cross. This is so hard. I'm racking my brain here. And I know people are like, oh, but you were been celebrating. If I wasn't celebrating, I'd feel the same way. I've been studying this stuff for 20 years. It gets almost like breathing. Google, that makes sense at a trend. Got it. Now, I mean, 95, possibly. I mean, I like Google better than some of the other ones, but that's just a bias. Let's not be fundamentalist. We talked about who. Remember how we talked about the news, all those layoffs, and now people are selling? No, the market makers are probably covering some of their position. How high can it go? I don't know, 20-day channel. I don't know, something like that. How much more do I want to like overthink it? I don't know. I feel like if Meta goes to 110, what's CF going to be at? 125? Is Alcoa going to be at like 55? I don't know. I'll sleep way better. Again, I value my sleep. Tech, hard. Remember, we like talk about Microsoft being very affected by the dollar. That's, man, all right. Below it. It's playing games. Quit playing games with my heart. I don't know. I mean, if you want to play the anti-dollar move, play gold and silver and miners. I feel like Microsoft is going to announce a layoff next. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. All right, not everything is great in Dan's world today. Shorted NDAQ. The 63s. Cost basis around 63.70. It's not great. People don't realize I got into this early before it crashed last time, and I was pissed. I missed this. And guess what? They played the trap game. They had like a conference they were speaking at, and I don't really care what they said. We'll see what happens. I'm in this early. First touch, you shouldn't be all in. You know how this goes. Could it have a higher low, lower high chop around? We'll see. I would just watch how we act clearly. Let's say this gap. Just how it acts in the 63 to 64, 65 range. Maybe early. Not going to focus on it too much. I mean, starter position, as you guys know. Some of y'all know, like 8 options, 500 shares. Nothing crazy. March puts, by the way. way out there. And micro strategy. Give me a second to look at this, because this is interesting. Sorry if I was busting balls in the easy to trade room, friend trading room. That looks interesting. If it holds here, I mean, you guys know, 30, 40 points in a day. You would have had to have gambled overnight. I don't know if I would have done that. Netflix, I put out the alert on this yesterday. Didn't even back up at all today. I would say, man, why didn't it save? It's like that same story. You say that all the time, Dan. You need to save the stuff more often. Jesus, stop it. Here you go. No, I'm just teasing myself, man. Y'all know, we talked about this area being a bounce. Keep in mind, the first dip gets bought, right? It's probably going to be a lower high, equal high, or higher high. Well, that's not really that insightful. But yeah, it is. If you actually think there's a bounce, you're getting something. That looks better to me because it's been in the base. Remember, flee from... What? You're like, were you making the hand fleas? No, I wasn't making flea sounds with my hands. But Red Hot Chili Peppers, the bassist. This says based. Yeah, a lot of bass here. Comes from Sevens bases. Not surprised that, again, this is probably what... Mark my words. If the NASDAQ goes higher, Netflix is probably going to lead it. That's my guess. Man, Roblox. Choppy, sloppy little son of a biscuit. Tight action. I don't know. I think they get bought out at some point. At this junction, filled the gap. I mean, you know what to do. You can take the trade, but just be careful. It's tech. Tesla. Someone bought some today. I'm like, man, it makes sense, but it's just a hard trade. How much is my upside? I mean, everybody is dumping tech as they should. They're not going to win the war of battles forward. Is it due to bounce? I hope it is for whoever. I can't remember who bought it, but whatever. Let's get into the winners. The winner circle. X. You're welcome. You're welcome. Said we get up into the 22s. If you got up there today, what should you have done? Taken some profit. Could get up to 24, 25. Nucor, little ominously sideways today. Not as it looks like CF a little bit, little stuck at the range high. A lot of dojis, a lot of inaction. It's gonna chop before the pop drop. We don't know. It looks interesting. VALE having election issues in Brazil. I have no clue. They're gonna do some spin-offs, which I like. Volume, someone else seems to like it too, but I don't know if I would chase this. CCJ, someone was talking about buying it at the 2270 level. You're welcome, just handing out candy. Talked about it being a bear trap. If it was a bear trap, it was going to resolve higher. Well, there you go. 23, I mean, up to 20. I mean, that's not bad. If that's what you're trading, that was a win. Arrow, talked about channel bottom. Said, hey, watch the doji. Was that a professional gap? It was. Here we go, back up into the 12s. That's not a bad trade. Even if you bought it on the professional gap day, still might make $2, 20% Not too shabby. CF, hot diggity dog. You bought this yesterday, the 50-day. You bought this post earnings. You are a happy camper, trading around in your position too. You gotta love it. I tried to just talking to somebody earlier, and you know who you are. Man, trading around your position sometime in a trader's market can be rather lucrative. CF moves. It is a leader. It is lower left, upper right kind of stock. I trust this. I can hold this overnight. I can buy dips and not be scared crapless that at some point they're going to lay people off. No, they're probably hiring Twitter execs right now. Twitter employees. Looking good. We'll see. If the market rises, you fill this gap. Why is my trend line not there? Maybe you can make it up into the 125s. First day I've drawn that. It's on my monthly. Does this make sense? I'm going to remove this one because this one doesn't look like it's that powerful. Think about it. If your SMH is going to 210 or whatever, then I would think CF has got 120s. Minimum. Get that money. Get that money, son. Mosaic. All right, let me rant here for a second. Remember how we talk about when a tendency becomes almost predictable, the market tries to adapt. Hence why we've always tried to be humble. Like we may have figured out the market for this cycle, but I've missed other cycles. Sometimes things aren't what you expect. 3 times a test, 3 times a charm. Look at that. Earnings. Everyone thought, well, every other ag name had earnings got beaten. They all, maybe Mosaic should. Mosaic flipped it around. Bong, bone. Talked about that yesterday and the day before. I'm not just playing, hindsight 2020, Monday quarterbacking, nice trade. NTR. Man, I wish I would have bought more at 70. I got some here post earnings, which wrong. Bought some down here, right. Bought some this day, yesterday. High five to me. But guess what I did? Took some profits because I have to. I don't want the market to take them. AA, I just want a little volatility. I can buy them back. If you bought this down 30, nice, up to 43. Talked about you got to get over this level here. Let me show y'all. Is it 10 minute? Let's actually make it the hourly. This is the first intraday chart you've shown all day. Yeah. That's how much I care about intraday action. That's not it. Sorry. Here you go. Talked about it. If it can break out over this. Highway to the profit zone. And here it comes. At worst, probably the 100-day channel high. All of these confluence here at 45, 46. Take another 8%. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Keep in mind, big boy is playing. Big boys can't hide. We like to follow the whales. Well, here's you a whale. Who has stopping power? Who has the ability to buy 37 million shares? Again, whatever, 30 million shares. It's not you and everybody combined in this room. That's for sure. I got faith. Somebody's going to defend that price. At some point, pray it comes back to 35 in the bear market. next move down. Getting the willies. XBI. Glad I dumped this. Oh man, hot girls are waiting here. Awesome. People can't see. There's like someone spamming the chat. It's always like, hot girls are waiting here in this room. Are there? That's a lie. I'm just kidding. No. This isn't a brothel. Could be hot guys, I guess, too. Whatever floats your boat. I'm not really trusting this action. And we talked about dumping it when it couldn't get over. Remember, it dropped and it came. I was like, you got to get over this. All these moving averages. Once it did, it's like game over. I give up on you. I fail. I mean, I may have even gotten it up a little later too. I was like, I'm done with this thing. Commodities are just where it's at. I mean, there's a lot of resistance here. We talk about resistance causing problems. Looking left. That may have been it. We'll see. I mean, if the market pops, then it'll probably pop. Talked about that, but whatever. XLF, the XFL. Market ain't dumping if the XFL is doing well. Financials, we talked about this. Like, they couldn't confirm the lows. They popped up. Now look where you are, right? 200-day upper bound. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, they're laying off people left and right, but their margins are going up. It's an interesting dichotomy going on in the financial industry. We'll see. It's hard to be bearish, right? But here you go. Maybe we start seeing some action. You know, like IWM, financials. Little precarious. Little confusing. Here you go. 200. Real men of genius. I do this every day for Jamie Dimon. Real men of genius. Convince everybody to sell your stock and the world is going to end, and then rally it 30%. Real men of genius. Yeah, nice work, JP. Morgan would be proud of you, Mr. Diamond. Nice work. You guys made your quarter. Everyone else can shut up. I'm sorry, that's just so obvious. Solar. Tan. All right, blue wave, green wave, whatever. Microwave. Tan holding up. Remember, if commodities rise, it's really hard for me to trust. Really hard for me to trust that solar will just absolutely implode. Does it? Does it? I don't know. ENPH hit the hundo. Stuck under the 50. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see it at 300 again. We'll see. Sedge. I don't even know what their earnings were, but I remember someone saying they were all right. Well, clearly that things you see in up markets rewarded good earnings. First Solar, everybody's tempted to trade it. Could have, I guess, shorted up here. Could have bought. Remember, I mean, I told y'all, watch the 144, 145 area. Nice work. Pops. Drops. Whew. Remember how we talk about hard trading? It can be difficult. Oh, nice work, Colton. Nice. Thank you. Again, high five to you. Tip to myself for, again, when you know that you know, you get better at trading. Glad that worked out, that you took it, because that was, I think you made at least 10, 15 points. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you got in at 161. Did you not say you got in at one? No, I guess it wasn't 161. 160s. Yes, sir. Awesome. Trader of the day right there. I'll take 15 points, and then you just let it play out. Well done, man. That's harder said than done. People don't realize that. Taking profits, you know, they always people like YOLO and people who don't take, they don't use stops. I'm like, people who trade it, well, I mean, there's trading opportunities. YOLO and not using stops are guaranteed ways to go bust. Congrats, man. I'm happy. Man, hopefully Colton looks like a guy in your picture. Congrats. Oil. Congrats if you sold it yesterday. Now you're getting into levels. Whatever. It's still, you did good. You still did good. 10 points. 8 points. Oil. I don't really care about gaps so much. Still very solid. Yeah, absolutely. Don't care much about gaps. Hold on a second. Drinking water. All right. Don't care about gaps. We'll see. Talked about 87, 88 on WTI. Red wave, they're going to promise more oil coming. They can't. No. Probably a buying opportunity. Bought nat gas today. 2 levels of this. Bought some at 2015, put a stink bid at 2070. It filled. Why 2070? Look at this candle. Pretty simple. Holds a 20-day. Please be careful. Please be careful. Could be multiple days. Could come back down into 19s. Just be careful. Starter position. Give it a day or so. Let the levels play out. Remember, you have to trade in a trader's market. Trader's market would say probably up to 24 quick if it goes. Congrats if you're trading this. Love it. Absolutely happy and proud for everybody. Appreciate all the love, support, the donations. Even if they're small, it's like, man, you get it. You see how you're getting this education for free. You paying the tip to the dealer is always appreciated because I'm not losing. People are like, oh, you're going to lose all your donations if you start cutting people. And I'm like, I don't need your damn donations. I told you that. I appreciate them. Very thoughtful. They make me want to help you more. Trust me, they do. Because you appreciate it. But if I'm living off of donations, then this channel sucks. Because that'd be me living off of the 95% of traders that are going to fail and being a vulture. Vulture. ExxonMobil. Here's the monthly trend line. We talked about this dip. Talked about, remember, actually when this started moving up in September, it's like, this is bullish. The market's going to follow. If ExxonMobil's rising, market might follow. Well, now we're getting closer up to the monthly trend line. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Oxy. Did they have earnings? I missed that. I don't know. Holding up? No, of course, the volume is there. Looks all right. Here you go. Probably 80 area. EQT. This one's been like liberating to get rid of. But if you did buy it down here, that's a pretty good trade. Remember, we got popped. I got stopped out. I lost patience with nat gas. And that's what I do. I pivot. But sometimes you pivot and then it goes. Well, guess what? We pivoted into other good stuff. So it wasn't terrible. I mean, that's the reality of it. Sometimes you just give up on trades and they work a week later, a month later. But that week you may have done better things. A month you may have done better things. All right. Appreciate the love, support. Going to stop the recording. Please, if you're looking at real estate, get dialed in. Because if rates move the opposite direction at some point in the next 6 to 12 weeks, you're going to find some stupid ideas. Or stupid deals. Ideas. Meh. All right. Talk to you later. Going to keep the stream rolling. What y'all got? What does anyone have? What do you have for me? We're celebrating. We're partying. I'm looking away from the mic. Good day. Excellent day. Magical day. And not so much because of being right, but just taking profits. You got to pay yourself. You got to run this like a business. I'm telling you, some people just want the biggest account. And then once trading doesn't go well, that big account gets pulled back and they didn't pay for anything. They didn't buy a property. They didn't do anything but just grow their account and hit a rut and boom, they gave it all back. I'm telling you, the payday is when you celebrate. What do they say? Gains aren't real until realized. That is the truth. Realized means taken out of the market. Hey, thanks, Flip. I have no clue who you are, but that's awesome. I appreciate the super chat. I'm assuming you want to see CHF. You can buy me off here at the end. I don't care for $1, 50 cents, whatever. CHF. What is that? I guess that's not a stock. Maybe that's just good. I don't know what that means. I don't know, man. It's scaring me. I actually don't know what that means. What does that mean? CHF. You're getting old, man. You're getting old. Don't know this stuff. What? Oh, what's that, bro? Biddy, inverse crypto. No, lay off of crypto, man. I don't like it, but I also don't want to short. I don't know. We talked about this. That is, why do people want to do the hard trades? You might have a bear trap. You might have a bear trap. Oh, the currency. CHF currency. Oh, what's the ticker for? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I was like, man, I'm missing something. Well, you guys know I've been partying. That makes sense. This is hard, man. Swiss franc. Yep. I know the pairings. I promise you. Wasn't thinking about them. Again, I used to watch a lot of those things. I just stick to dollars now. This is hard, man. You guys want to guess what Bitcoin's going to do? I mean, flip a coin. I don't want coin flips. I don't want coin flips. I just don't. You want to do it? Go ahead. CPI Thursday. Should we start to get majority out before tomorrow night? Again, what is your plan? Trade around your core? Has the VIX risen enough to buy dips? Maybe, maybe not. How big are the dips? Again, I do not think the market peaks until OPEX. Keep this in perspective, Josh. If everybody thinks CPI is going to be a market going lower event, do you not think that we start have to look at who's saying that? If everybody thinks that, all the idiots are saying that. Blue Horseshoe loves Anacott Steel, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just a quick trap. This is hard. Again, taking profits now and uptrends and up moves makes sense. We are due for some volatility, and if it continues rising higher, I'm okay with that too. I mean, again, that's why my mind is so net neutral. Like, I'm just back to neutral. Swiss franc. Which Chiffy do we want? What do you want me to look at this for? Do you want me to draw it for you? CPI cast at 7.9. What if it comes in at 6? What do we want to look at? You dropped me $3. I'll look at anything for $1. $3. Even more excited about it. If I was expecting Swiss franc dollar, let me just draw it for you. I mean, you could probably do this yourself. You've been around. You know the deal. Let me go. Man, when did it all start? There's multiple time frames here to trade against. Let's just draw. Remember how we like to draw the fibs and see if support resistance lines up with them? Okay, it is. Look at that. Yo, here's your $3. This is I just made you money, potentially. Hopefully, if this is correct. No guarantee. I'm joking when I say that, but remember we talk about the fibs lining up with areas of importance. Look how the 0.236 lines up with this resistance support. 0.38, this range low, this range high, we're currently there. 50, this area top. 0.618, another chop zone. The 0.786, here you go. I like this being a bottom. How high? How high are you? I don't know. Talk to Tally. That's the hard, man, that's hard. Hard to know for sure. But if we anticipate the dollar going to 29, or the UUP, I don't know. I would think probably, man, maybe you get your pips, 103. Tough to know. Got quiet there. Does that help? Does that help? Does that help? Senpacha. Does that help? Senpacha. Happy to be patient. Chris has a question. As someone who's been out, who's cashing in, I use that in my next play is short. Noise. Yeah, I think that looks okay. XLF, you want to short it. XFL. And the dollar's at 29. Excuse me, got a little cotton mouth. 35. Start looking there, but here, if you're really going to short financials, I short the FAS. Chris, here's your benefit. Like, again, DK and ETF, short this. It's like, go to the damn gym. Go to the gym. If you don't know that whole series of memes. Short the damn FAS. Short it. Short the FAS. No, I mean, if you think XFL is going out of business and the XLF is going to drop, yeah, that makes sense to me. Short this. Get an 80 handle. Try to get an 80 handle. I've noticed how it decays. Like XLF is making new highs. This thing can't. This is good to short with stops at the right times and to trade around it. Absolutely. This thing can get cooked. 80 down to 50. You do the math, right? 35%. Do you think the XLF What's the downside? 35 maybe to 28. Yeah, I mean the FAAS. I mean, why am I even doing the math? Yeah, that's the play. It's gonna do better. Just don't quote me as correct. Like, also have evidence with the market, please. Like, it's just don't. It's the people today who shorted SMH at 200 plus. All right, starter position. I get it. But the people who just jump in at full boat, I'm like, you might regret that. It's like any trade, picking the first bottom, like layering in. Remember, selling puts, then buying calls, like if that's the play. Like, here you go. Here's your sold puts, you bought calls, whee! If it doesn't sorry, you only got stock or something. You know what I mean? It's like, it's okay. You're still dealing with winners, but here's another one. Zing! Sold puts, bought calls, whee! It's so sometimes almost easy. Any more questions? If not, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate everybody. The $3. I mean, again, every little bit, man. Every little bit. It's good energy. I keep telling people that. It shows me people actually really value this stuff. And again, I probably could be charging thousands of dollars. I know that. But I want to deal with the people who are like me, who keep persevering and who need the help to get through. Because the perseverance will make you a fucking master. Did I say that? That's a bad word. Yeah, it'll make you a master. But you got to get through the mistakes. The experience with the mistakes is how you hit mastery. Don't ever let anyone tell you that. Again, I'm here to push you further. Be less emotional. Be more emotionally intelligent. Be more thoughtful to market makers. Like, this isn't hard. Hopefully people are seeing that. They're like, wow, you make it look easy. No, you go play golf with a pro, it looks easy. Well, hang out. Let's pro it up. Everybody's a pro. Pros need coaches too. Remember that. I was talking about that today with a really successful real estate agent in Colorado Springs. He's like, man, everyone needs a coach. Literally everyone. Do you follow TTI? No. I hate penny stocks. No. Hate single digit low stocks. I mean, that looks interesting right there. The only thing I like about this stock is the monthly. The daily I don't. The daily to me is, I don't like that candle. I hate single digit stocks. Every once in a while I'll buy one and it'll work out, and then I'll buy a few and they go nothing. I would put this on the back radar. Let me add this to my interesting column. TTI. I hate looking at monthlies like this. Disney for a short. All right, when you ask that question, do you want to try to answer it for yourself? Or do you want me to just give you the answer? I always like to give people the options, though. Especially, my friend, you've been around for a minute. Do you want to short Disney? When? How? What price? How long are we holding it? Like, this is not an easy conversation, right? Do you want to lead me into where the starting point of this trade begins? Because if it's short it right now, I would say probably not. Give me a reference. Yes, I will short now for 2 months. No, get out of here with that crap, man. No. I would no. Absolutely not. And hold for 2 months? No. No. This thing has gotten absolutely smoked. Man, it's crazy. 1.618. Let me just remove some of these. No. I just can't do it. I can't rationalize it. No. I'm like, why am I using that Disney? I can't. It's down. I mean, 190 down to the 90s. 200s. My bad. That's right. I went to 200s. You need some pop. Yeah, there's better shorts out there. I would just wait for some pop. It's like shorting some of the tech names. When they're nearer the lows, I get it. If the market breaks down, good. Chase them. Go ahead. If it breaks the lows, like if this thing comes back down here and held and then failed, that would make sense. We'll see if that happens, right? But I don't want to go against the market. I'm just telling y'all right now. The harder trade is to short tech as the market's rising. I get it. You're probably going to get rewarded at some point, 2 months. But is it better to wait? It usually is. It absolutely usually is. It just usually is. I don't know. I'm like losing my thought reading this next comment. Do you have any tips on how to find out where big money is rotating their money? Thanks. This question is interesting. You're newer, so I can't be like, I'm not going to like be mean about it. But you're newer to the channel. You're newer to clearly to how I would figure it out. It's volume price analysis. Volume at price, volume on the days, and then the analysis of the action is how I figure it out. The whales can manipulate price. They cannot manipulate volume. As of this point, they don't do a good job. That's the thing. That's how you look at it. How do you say, here's a big tip? You asked, where's a big tip of like an obvious situation where volume price analysis is clear as day? It's AA. Post earnings, look what happened. Gap down, close at the highs of the day, at a decent volume at price node on the left with big volume. Who has stopping power? Who, again, from 98 down to 35. Somebody likes commodities long term. I'm not the only one. I know a commodity super cycle starting. I can do this with commodities. I can't do this with tech. Tech is junk. So, be careful. Be careful. Like, volume price analysis, study it, back test it. You got to, like, Dave, to really understand this, you got to back test it. But you also have to look beyond. Sometimes with VPA, it's more evidence-based as well, right? We're trying to anticipate moves. Well, the volume with price analysis and the action and knowing how the market makers work, please read the books. Reminiscent of Stock Operator, it's in the Discord room, or someone will drop you a link. Volume Price Analysis by Anna Cooling. Those are the two. Those are the two books. That's all you need to read. Literally, those are the only two books you have to read for trading. That's crazy. Let me just do it. Let me just drop you the links if you want to use them. I think like $1 or something. I have no clue. Affiliate links, getting rich selling books. OBE is also interesting, not a penny stock. I don't want to look at these cheap stocks again. I just don't. They're like, everybody gets infatuated with trying to get rich off of cheap stocks. I'm just trying to do what's easy. Companies that have cheap stocks are usually run by management that sucks. And if the management sucks and they don't know how to like manage expectations, they don't know how to run a business, it's like watching Shark Tank and just being Mark Cuban or Kevin O'Leary and being like, pass. I'll pass. Does this make sense to you? Like, why don't, I mean, that's the thing. Like, those guys don't get rich on cheap stuff. Like, they take on investments that are safe. Penny stocks aren't safe. I don't even know how to, like, I say this over and over, and it's like people still buy this crap. I have to find the next penny stock. It's like, how many penny stocks actually become part big monster, big caps, mid caps, small caps, whatever? Not many. Most of them go to zero and they go to the OTC off the board. Pinks. Pink sheets. Remember those? Seriously. So you want to show me that stuff? No, I don't want to look at it. You can't pay me enough, actually. No, I don't want to look at it. And you're probably like, oh, it's a great stock. All right, that's fine. Of course, that's what you would believe if you recommend a penny stock. That's what you want to believe, right? I don't know. I haven't even looked. I just don't want to look. $5, yes. Single-digit stocks are usually crap. There's a reason why they're single-digit. Do you understand this? It's because they not manage their share count well. They probably have a ton of debt. They probably have issues. Remember, institutions cannot invest in the United States in stocks $5 and below. They will not. There's no institutional support for stocks that are cheap as well. Well, that doesn't help. I mean, think about it. These people have hundreds of millions of dollars to do investing of the information that is current to their abilities to get insider information, whatever you want to call it. If they're not buying the stock up, why do I want to buy the stock? It literally shows you they're not interested. There would be ways to manipulate it up if they wanted to accumulate. Promise. Much easy. But people want to buy penny stocks, go right ahead. Every time I hate them. They're despicable. You will lose more money probably owning penny stocks than you'll ever make. And if you ever do get lucky on one, you'll think you're a pro. That's just me being honest. If it sounds mean, do this long enough and you hear them. You hear them. You hear every time. I mean, it's like, think of it as like your kid just like, hey, I want to do that. And you're like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. Oh, but it worked that one time. And you're like, you shouldn't do that. I don't know. Your kids get like this, they want to prove you wrong kind of thing. And then they do something and it works that you tell them not to, right? And then they're like really hard-headed. It's like, okay. That's what it feels like when people recommend me penny stocks and I tell them consistently, like, please leave them alone. But I found one that did real great. I have. I showed y'all. I've showed y'all this before. Rada. Bought this at like $2 and $3. It's up to 10. Bought it like many, many years ago. Many, many years ago. When was it? I can't remember. Somewhere down here. Whatever. So I think it was actually when it broke over. Again, I held it. I bought a couple hundred shares. Wow, it's gone to 10. But when I look at the monthly, I'm like, man, this is going to take forever. It's probably not ever getting back up into this. Anyway, any other questions? I'll wrap it up. It's a good question. Please don't take it personal when I trash. I be perceiving that I might be trashing your ideas. It's because I just don't want to put people in position to make mistakes. I've seen so many people try to get rich off of junior miners, penny stocks during the I don't know, choppy bull market, whatever action over the last 6 years in gold. They've wasted so much time and energy when they could have bought better gold miners. Could have just traded the freaking ETFs. It's safer. All right, I'm glad to hear. This is a great recap. Sleep well. If you took profits today, high five. You don't really care what happens in the election. That's when it's fun. When you get to neutral. If it dips on something that you think is ultimately more bullish, great. Buy that dip. If it pops up and you're like, oh, that's probably getting closer to the highs near term, I'll take it, do it. You don't get rich not taking profits. You get rich by taking money out of the market and investing. We're not trying to be Buffett. You don't have Buffett type of cash available to manipulate the markets. We're not there yet. I'm telling you, to make $1 million in trading, change your life, have a $50,000 trading account if you had to. Turn it into a cash account, whatever you want, like whatever size you want. Tell it to people all the time. Have a stock account. Again, don't expect a ton. Don't expect a ton. 5, 10, 15%. Big money, great. You're not buying penny stocks. You're trying to preserve capital. That's how you make money. I'm telling you, the steps of this will evolve the more people stick around. That's why, again, if you're in the Discord room, I appreciate you guys for being involved and learning. The people who are not doing the work, you'll eventually get booted. It just is what it is. Not because I don't like you or it's personal. It's like you got to step your game up. And if people make this, like, you make 100 errors of the same kind, now there's a problem. Make different errors. Let's talk through it. Peace out, y'all.